Hello, my name is Carly Drake, and this is for EDPD 3340. This is my SIOP lesson plan. My lesson plan is created to last about 3 days, so I will be doing the first day of my lesson plan, which would be about perimeter. This is based off a 4th grade math TEK, which is 111.6, point B, point 5, C. And our vocabulary is going to be perimeter, area, and formula. Once again, area is going to be technically a part of a different day, so I will be touching on it lightly, but moving mainly into perimeter today. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, guys, so we're gonna be talking about perimeter and area. Who remembers perimeter and area from last year? I see several of y'all do. Can anybody tell me what they remember about perimeter and area? You remember that it has to do with the sides. That's right. So before we get started today, we are going to just refresh our minds and we're going to work on a couple of problems just to make sure we remember before we go deeper, right, guys? So for our first problem, we're all gonna get a paper that looks like this. It has this on the front side and it has 2 questions on the back. So we're gonna be concentrating on number 1. So it does not have any information, but I will read it to you. So you need to practice your listening skills, and we're going to do this together. Okay. A carpenter is placing tiles in a classroom. He needs 8 tiles across the top and 12 tiles down. How many tiles does he need to fill the entire classroom? Okay, that was a lot of information, guys, right? So let's first start off with how many tiles, what the tiles were. So he needs 8 tiles across. So let's go ahead and we're gonna call this our across. So we're gonna write an 8 right here and let's draw 8 boxes all the way across, okay? Make sure you use all this room. So 8 has to go all the way across, okay? It's okay if your boxes are not perfect, but it'll work the same, okay? So this is what it should look like. Does everybody have that? And then it says it has 12 tiles going down. So 12 tiles going down means it's going to be on this side. Remember, this is part of your 12 tiles. So make sure you do not come down here and do 12. This is part of your 12. So after this, you need 11 more tiles. So go ahead and make sure you write your number 12. And then let's draw our 12 tiles. Sorry. Okay, perfect. Sometimes our brains are a little slow too, so we just have to make sure that we got our 12 tiles, right? Okay, so now we have 8 tiles on top and 12 down the bottom. So it wants us to know how many tiles can fill this entire area. How many tiles do we need? That's what the question's asking. What what is that asking? Is that asking us to find the perimeter? Or is that asking us to find the area? Who can tell me? You think it's asking us to find the perimeter. Okay, why do you think it's asking us to find the perimeter? Because it's asking about the sides. That is a good observation, that it's giving us the answers, that it's giving us the sides, but it wants us to find the inside, which, what is perimeter? Is perimeter inside or is perimeter the outside? Yes, perimeter is the outside. So we need to find the inside. So what is the inside? Yes, the inside is area. So how are we going to find the area? I hear some great ideas. So last year, y'all would have drawn all these lines all the way across and then counted them. So I'm gonna give y'all a second to do that and give y'all a second to count, okay? So everybody take a minute to themselves, finish their lines, and let's count them and see how many tiles we need. All right, guys. Now that you've had your time to finish your boxes, raise your hand if you are done counting. Okay, we still have some friends that are not done counting, so we're gonna wait on them. All right, so now that everybody has given me the go ahead and they are done counting, I'm going to call on one of you and see what you got. What did you get? 96. Wow, who else agrees? That's a lot of squares, huh? I bet that took y'all a while to count. Let's make sure. So, this is gonna take forever. I'm gonna count. Let's just edit that part out. Wow, so that's a lot of squares, right? I don't even know how to do that. Ish. Okay. So now that y'all have had y'all's time to draw your boxes, how many squares are in there? I see several of y'all have your hand raised because y'all think y'all know the answer. Let's give our friends a few more minutes to count, and then we will discuss. All right, now that everybody is done, how many squares did we have? We're gonna say it all together, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. 96. Perfect, guys. That is great. And how did we get that answer? How did we get 96? Because we counted. Yes, last year y'all were taught to find area by drawing boxes. Y'all were given 8 on top and 12 on the side by drawing all the boxes, 8 down and 12 to the side, right? And counting the boxes. Yes. Okay. So now that we remember what area is, we're going to go ahead and flip our page over. I'm going to fold mine so we can concentrate on just this side. You leave yours straight though. And we're going to go to number 2. So number 2 says, it's not written on here again. I have it on my notes. It says that you are given a pentagon that has the sides measuring 1 foot, 2.5 feet, 3 feet, 1.5 feet, and 2 feet. and they want to know what is the perimeter. So what are we gonna do first? Yeah, so first, I think it's a great idea to label our sides. Let's count and make sure that we have all the numbers. So how many sides does a pentagon have? 5. Perfect. So let's make sure we have 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And it doesn't say which one specifically goes to what side, so we're just gonna write them in, okay? So make sure every side has a different length. So I'm gonna put mine, I'm gonna go 1 foot, and then I'm gonna mark out 1 foot to make sure I know that I already put that down. So 2.5 feet, and then mark it out. And we're gonna do the same for the rest of them. Make sure you only have 1 number for one side. You don't want to accidentally put 2 numbers because then it'll make our problem wrong, right? So I have all my numbers marked out because I used them. Okay, we had just talked about what we had learned from last year about what perimeter is. Can anybody tell me what we said? Yes, perimeter is the sides all added up, but they're on the outside, not the inside, right? That's great. So, how do we find the perimeter again? Add all the sides, right? So, let's go ahead and write this as an addition problem. So we're gonna do 1 plus 2.5 plus 3 plus 1.5 plus 2. I'm gonna write it over here to the side. Okay, I have mine written to the side. Now, on your own, I want to see if you can add it, okay? Raise your hand when you're done. All right, guys, what did we get as our answer? 10. 10 is very good. That's what I got also. So let's go ahead and write our answer in the blank. We remember this is very important to do because when we take our test, if we write it over here to the side, that's not right. We have to write it in the blank because they're not going to be looking around for your answer. So make sure your number is in the blank. Just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and flip it over. Well, you're not flipping it over, but I'm going to flip it over and we're going to look at number 3. All right. I'm going to read the question from my notes again and you're going to follow along. Okay. Here's our paper. It says a triangle has the perimeter of 16 cubits. One side is 6 cubits and another side is 5 cubits. What is the length of the missing side? Ooh, does anybody know how to do missing sides? Do y'all remember? Great, okay. So now this time we have the perimeter. So if we're going with the perimeter, what does that mean we're gonna do? Add all the sides, and this is a triangle, so how many sides to have? 3, that's great. Okay, so we have one side is 6, and side number 2 is 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this my side number 1. And I'm gonna put a C for cubits. And then I'm gonna call this side my side number 2. And this is going to be 5 cubits. And do we know the side? No, this is our missing side. So let's go ahead and write a question mark right here. Great. Okay, so if we know how to find perimeter, can somebody tell me again? Adding all the sides, then we should be able to find the missing side. So what are we gonna do first? We're gonna write it all out as an addition problem. So if it's going to be side number 1, which is 6, very good, plus side number 2, which is 5, great job, guys. And then we have one more side, so plus, what is side number 3? We don't know, so we're gonna write a blank spot for that, okay? A blank spot. And when we add all of that together, that gives us the perimeter. And what is our perimeter? 16. Is it 16 or 16 feet? 16 cubits, that's right, okay. So now that we have it like this, we are going to find out what that number is, okay? So first, we're going to add on this side. What is 6 plus 5? 11. Great job. So we have 11 plus blank equals 16. All right, so how do we get from 11 to 16? Let's count from 11 to 16. But we have to remember, when we're counting from 11 to 16, we have to start at 11. So it goes 11, 12. Okay, let's do it all together. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We hit it, so we stop. How many fingers are we holding up? How many is that? That's 5, great. So what is our answer? What goes in that blank? 11 plus 5. Okay, now everybody do your math really quickly, and we are going to make sure that is our correct answer. So write it out like this, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that's our right answer. So if we bring this down, 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 1. Did we get it right? Perfect. Okay, so our missing side is 5. Great. Now, all of our things are measured. What are they measured in? Cubits. So write cubits right beside of your 5. There we go, guys. All right, now that we have reviewed and refreshed ourselves, we know how to find missing sides based off the perimeter. We know what perimeter is, and we know what area is. We are going to take a step into what we are learning this week. All right, so let's say that you are building a house. We're paying a lot of money to someone to build us a house. Well, I have a bunch of dogs, so I would want a big backyard for my dogs to run around in. So we're going to do some math based off of a backyard for our house, okay? So my yard is going to be a rectangle. So what does that mean? What do we know about a rectangle? It has 4 sides. It has 4 corners. Okay, what about the sides? Can they all be different numbers? No, they can't, right? So I'm going to pass out this paper. Do not look at the numbers at the top. We're not worrying about that yet. We're just talking about the rectangle. Okay, so what sides are going to be congruent or the same? The top and the bottom are going to be the same, and then the two sides are going to be the same, right? Okay, that is very important to know. Okay, so my backyard, it says at the top of your paper, now this is where those numbers are going to come into play, that my backyard is going to be 20 feet long and 25 feet wide. So, which one is the bigger number, 20 or 25? 25 is, and which is our bigger side? Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and put the 25 on the bigger side just because it's the bigger number. So, it's going to be 25 feet. 25 feet. And then we're going to put the word wide on that. So we know that this is our width. Okay? So it should be 25 feet wide. Okay. And what is our other number? 20 feet long. So that's going to go on the other side. But make sure it's not going to go on the bottom. Because why? The top and the bottom are the same. Great. So, we have 20 feet long and 25 feet wide. So, what did we just say? The top and the bottom are the same. So, let's go ahead and write this number down here. That way we know all the sides, right? So we have 25 feet wide, and I want y'all to go ahead on your own, figure out what this number is gonna be. And is that side wide or long? So what did y'all put it as? 20 feet long. That's great, guys. Why did we put it as long? Because it was opposite of the other side that was 20 feet long, right? So our paper should look like this. Okay, now, if I was wanting to find the inside, what would that be? If I wanted to know how much backyard my dogs had to run around in. If I wanted to know how much yard, this is area. What if I wanted to know how much fence I needed for my entire backyard? Where does fence go? Does fence go on the inside or does fence go on the outside? Fence goes on the outside. So how much fence would I need? That would be perimeter. That's great, guys. Okay. So, once again, somebody tell me what perimeter is. Perimeter is adding up all the sides, right? So, on our backyard, if I wanted to find the perimeter, what would I do? I would add up all of the sides. So, let's go ahead and we're going to just spread it out right here in the center of our paper. We have 25 plus 20 plus 25 plus 20. That's great. Okay, I'm not going to make you solve it right now because that is not what we're worried about. I want y'all to notice something. So, in green, I have our, what does wide mean? It's our width, right? So in green, I have our width, and in pink, I have how long it is, but we're gonna call this our length, okay? So we have I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put a W. That's a W in sign language, my bad. But we're going to put a W on top of the green because the width is, I'm writing in green. And we're going to put a L on top of the pink because that is our length. So I'm going to add my plus signs too. So we got width plus length plus width plus length. Okay? All right, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's take a step right here. So when finding the perimeter, do y'all think there's an easier way to find the perimeter of like a rectangle besides adding up all the sides? No? Well, there actually is. So you know how we did the L, the width plus length plus width plus length? That is an easier way to find the perimeter. But it can also be broken down even more. Okay, so my colors don't match as well on this paper, but here's my paper, and we have long and wide, and then I have my 25 and my 20 opposite of where they're supposed to be. We're going to work on this paper because we have more room to work. So what did we just say about width plus length plus width plus length? Yes, so that's how we find our perimeter. So I'm going to do a P for perimeter. And I am writing in green, but well, no, we're just going to change. We're going to change. There's no point in being confusing, right? Okay, we have a P for perimeter. So P equals, what did we say? Width plus length plus, what's next? Width plus length. Great job. So we have this. This is what we're going to call a formula. A formula is kind of a rule that we can follow that will make finding answers easier. So what formula we just created, what rule we just created was that the perimeter of a rectangle is going to be the width plus the length plus the width plus the length, all four sides. So, but there is a way we can make it smaller. We can make our formula, this is still a long formula, but we can make this formula even shorter. You want to do it? It'll make it even easier. Yes. So we have two sides, and these are our lengths. So are they the same? Yeah. So so if they're the same, we can write how many, okay. We have two lengths, and are they the same? Yes, because on a rectangle, the opposite sides are the same. So the two lengths are the same. So we also have two lengths right here, and they're going to be the same. So instead of writing L plus L, we can write two lengths, 2L. So instead, we can have 2L instead of writing L plus L. Right? Okay, y'all understand where that's coming from? We have two lengths, 1, 2, that are the same. So that's why we can write 2L, because there's 2 of them. 2 that are the exact same length. Okay? Now what about for our width? We have 2 widths that are the same. So how can we write that? Yeah, we can do 2 width, 2W, right? Yeah, that's great, guys. So we're making our formula smaller, but I do have one question. What goes right here? If we have the 2 W's and these 2 L's, what do we still do to them? We add them. We add them. Okay, that's perfect. So y'all remember how to multiply, right? Okay, so now we're gonna plug in for our answers. Now that we have this is our formula. It is P, perimeter, equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. So we're going to put in our answers. So make sure you write your P again. P equals, we're going to keep our 2. Keep your 2. Keep your 2. Do you understand? Okay. What number is for the length? 20. So we're going to write 20 for the length. And then we're going to plus, keep your 2 for the next one. And what? Let me make sure y'all know where we're going with this. The 20 plus keep our 2. And what is our width? 25. Okay, when we have a letter and a number squished together like 2L or 2W, that means to multiply. We know how to multiply, right? Yes, because 20 plus 20 is still the same number as 2 times 20, right? Yes, so that's what we're doing right here. So let's go ahead and write our little X for multiply. Okay, so there we go. And then now we just solve. So what it is, we have P equals, what is 2 times 20? 40 plus what is, that's 40. So what is 2 times 25? 50. And now all we have to do is add 40 plus 50. How great is that? So what is our perimeter for this? 90. And let's go back up here and what is this measurement? Feet. We have 90 feet. So what is the formula we figured out for rectangles? Yeah, we figured out that if we have 2 lengths and 2 widths, it'll be P equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. That's great. All right. So together, we're going to look at the back of this paper and we're going to solve these. So we have first of all, up here in the corner, let's write our equation that we just made. So it is P equals 2L plus 2W for width. 2 lengths plus 2 width. Okay, we have 3 length. So let's go ahead and write that down. 3 length and 2W. Let's put our 2W. So, do you think we need to label any more? yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. You don't need to, and we're gonna learn why in the next one, but let's just go ahead and now do it for now. I labeled mine a different color just so we know that these are our other two sides. Okay, so if we know that this is 3L, the length is 3, we can plug it into our formula. So let's go ahead and write P equals, keep the 2, times, what is the length? The length is 3. Plus, keep the 2. What is our W? Our width is 2. So, we have a 2. Okay, I want y'all to try, let's do step 1. Everybody do step 1 by yourself, which is just the multiplication. So P equals, what is 2 times 3? 6 plus 2 times 2? 4. Very good. Now what is 6 plus 4? 10. Great job, everybody. Okay, let's step down here to number 2. Okay, remember I just said we're not gonna label all the sides on this one, okay? And then, yeah, we're not gonna label all the sides on this one. So let's just label the sides. So you have 5 length and 6 width on this one. Everybody label it, and then we'll come back together. All right. So, we know that this is a rectangle, right? Yeah. So do we need to know what this other side is? If we already know what length is, if we already know what width is, do we need to know that? No, because we already know it. It's in our heads. What is that? That is a 5. That's going to be another 5 right here. So we're just not going to put it because we already have that information. But let's go ahead and fill out this formula again right here on number 2. So we have 2 times, what is our length? 5. And then we have plus, keep our 2. What is our width? 6 times 6. That's how it should look. Everybody take this first step on your own. Do your multiplication. It should be 10 plus 12. Do your addition. And we have 22. All right. Now on this last one, I want you to try to do it on your own. If you need to draw the box, go ahead. We are already given our length and our width. So do with that information what you please. If you want to draw your box because it helps you, do it. Visuals are a great way to remember. I am drawing my box, and I already have my sides labeled. I have 4 length, 3 width, and I'm going to go ahead and plug mine in. I'm going to do step number 1. Everybody, I want you to go ahead and do this first step and plug everything in, and we'll take the next step together. Oops. So what should our formula say now? Our formula should say perimeter equals 2 times 4 plus 2 times 3. Okay, everybody, let's take our first step and do our multiplication. Or our second step, actually. We have 8 plus 6. What is 8 plus 6? 14. That's great, guys. All right. Y'all have learned how to use the formula that we have created. So I'm gonna hand everybody a graph sheet. It says perimeter person at the top. Mine is already done, but it's gonna have a graph, and you're gonna draw a person inside these boxes. So my head is inside the boxes, so is my arm, my 2 legs. And for today, we are just going to draw this person. We're just going to draw this person, and on in 2 days, when we are finished with this lesson, or when we are coming to a close of this lesson, we will find the perimeter and area of this man. So y'all just complete this for the rest of the class, and we will have a review tomorrow.